Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Knapik. Every week we talk about success and everything that goes along with it. You'll learn the principles of success, how to achieve success, and learn to overcome challenges that may be getting in the way of success in your life. You'll hear from Bill Knapik, a radio personality and business development expert, along with insight from special guests. If you're ready to find your path to success or take the success you're enjoying to the next level, stay tuned. Successful Living with Bill Knapik is on right now.
And welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill Knapik. And today, Successful Living with Tama Kieves. She is a gifted author. She is an honors graduate of Harvard Law School. She left the practice to be an author and so much more. We're going to find out all about that. Tama, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Very nice to talk with you today. And of course, right up front, you have a book that is out right now called Thriving Through Uncertainty. And this is one of several books you have written. But first of all, let's tell people, Tama, about what you do as an author and so much more.
Well, you know, what started my whole journey of being an author and is in all of my books and certainly in Thriving Through Uncertainty is I was so unhappy in my career. You know, I had what other people thought of as traditional success or conventional success, and it felt empty to me because, you know, when I was young, I knew what I wanted to do. I'd always wanted to write. That was my dream. I'd always wanted to write, and I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, to an Orthodox Jewish family, and I got, you're going to write? You're going to starve, you're going to write. And that was the go for your dreams talk I got, you know. And so I went off to law school, and I got accepted to Harvard Law School and graduated with honors from Harvard Law School. And I was on partnership track for a major law firm. And I was so unhappy every single day. It just felt empty. I felt like you wake up and you're working so hard, but it's not your calling. It's not what you're here to do. And thank God, a friend of mine at one point just said, you know, think about it. If you've been this successful doing something you don't even love, what could you do with what you love? And that's really what just the lights went off, and I thought, oh, my God, you get one life. I want to know. So that's what started my whole journey. So I left everything to become a writer. It's all I ever wanted to do. And it's why, you know, in this new book, Thriving Through Uncertainty, it's one of the things that motivated me to write it was just that I want people to not back off from their dreams or their highest desires or whatever it is they want to do in their life or their greatest success in this lifetime because they're afraid of uncertainty. Sometimes going for the certain thing and the secure thing isn't where your genius is, isn't where your juice is. And I want to help people really go for what they really want, whatever that is.
And Tama, let's embellish that. That's something that you said. You said so many things already that I think are very important. However, you said if you can be successful doing something you don't like, what if you took that and put it to something you had a full-blown passion for? So that, and a lot of people are in that boat. I know I've been in that boat several times in my life, but we keep pressing forward. However, you weren't just in an average job that, let's say, or a career that people didn't find fulfilling. You were in something that really took a lot of effort, and certainly you must be very bright. But
theoretically,
but there you were, not just at any college. Well, but that's huge. At not any college, yes. But Harvard. It's hard to get in, and then to have honors at such a credential, and to go forth as an attorney and be on the partnership track. Some people would find that very fulfilling. However, we're all different, and there's different things that ignite us. But there you go. And it's exciting when to talk to someone that is passionate about what they do. And now you're there, and you're not starving, I bet.
I'm not starving. Yeah, I need to be starving a little bit. You know, I mean, that's a whole other issue. No, and again, one of my biggest messages is that love will take you so much further than fear. You know, that we are so trained in fear and beating ourselves up and being negative and achieving through negativity. And I want to help people achieve through self-love and through courage and kindness. And I will say that, people will always say to me something like, oh, my God, but you were so courageous, and how could you do that? You're so courageous. And for me, it wasn't even courage. Of course, it was some courage, but it was desperation, that when you're not doing the right thing in your life, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's in, your health, whether it's in your finances, whether it's in your career, when you're not doing the right thing in life, you don't feel that alive. You don't feel that connected. You don't feel that juice. And so I'm trying to get people to always choose their highest genius, their highest love, their highest intelligence, whatever that is. And the way you're going to do that is do something you love. Start believing again. Start finding out why you stop believing, because it's some negative self-talk that is not true. What we think is being practical is sometimes so not practical. I always tell people that the greatest practicality you're going to have is doing something you love, doing something that's right for you.
And that is so important. We're talking with Tama Kieves, the author of Thriving Through Uncertainty. Also, as we talk about doing things that we love, you're also the author of a book called This Time I Dance, Creating the Work You Love, which is exactly what we're talking about, Inspired and Unstoppable, A Year Without Fear. So let's tell people, Tama, your website in case they want to follow along as they listen.
Absolutely, and I have all kinds of free resources and things you can download and tips and tools. It's tamakieves.com, tamakieves.com, and that's T-A-M as in Michael, A, Kieves, K-I-E, V as in Victor, es.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter every day as well, because I'm having a conversation with the world on this, and I think you need to be supported by the people who believe in you and the people who are going after inspiration instead of fear. So I hope people will join me at tamakieves.com. I have a newsletter that comes out once a month that keeps you inspired and ignited, and I write new articles for it every time.
And people can get the book, the newest book, Thriving Through Uncertainty, at the normal places that people buy books, right?
All the normal places.
And probably your website as well. But let's tell people, Tama, you say that you love the idea of being an author. First of all, what age did that hit you?
Now you're going to get personal on me here, huh?
And but also I was going to say, what is it, in addition to that, what is it that you love and find satisfying about being an author now that you are very successful?
Mm-hmm. So I was young when it hit. I mean, I was young, but I'd gone straight through school, straight through everything, and so I probably left the first time at 27 or so. So I was young when I first left, and I know people think, oh, well, she was young, whatever. But keep in mind, I was also clueless and didn't have any sense of self-worth yet. I hadn't really found myself yet, which, by the way, you only find yourself when you're doing something you love. And so what I was going to say to you about, you said, well, what do I find fulfilling about being an author? First of all, I think any dream or anything that we're here meant to do, any self-expression that we're meant to do, you discover more of yourself than you ever knew you had. That you discover more of who you really are than you ever knew was even in there when you go after some path of self-expression in any field or in any aspect of life, whether it's being a better parent or a better husband, better wife. When you go after your true self-expression, you tap strengths and capacities and genius. You're scratching the surface. You don't even know how strong you are. And that really is what's amazed me, as a writer, is I get better and better. It's really fun. And the other thing that is amazing about being an author that truly makes me want to cry is I have a worldwide following at this point. I have people that write to me all the time of, I read your book and it changed my life. I read your book and it's really helping me believe in myself. I read your book and, and that just, takes my breath away every single day that something I did is helping some person in Japan, or in Iowa, or, someone I'm never maybe going to meet, but I'm having a connection with. And my tapping my own truth is helping somebody tap their truth. And that's my dream, is that we're all tapping our truth and we bring these talents and genius to the world, and it's a better place because of it.
And in the book, in fact, on page 10, you talk about risk. I like this. This is very profound, very obvious, but you say there is no risk-free life. There's not. And then you reference the Pacific Ocean, how that inspired you as you were looking upon the Pacific Ocean, one of my favorite oceans and places to look at when I'm on the West Coast. But tell us about risk. I mean, that is a part of life, and sometimes we get handed some really tough things and challenges in life, but still we have the ability to have the right mindset, even though it's hard to calibrate sometimes to go forth.
Absolutely, and I think it's just that most of us are kind of like bargaining with life in some ways. We're trying to always get over there. When I get over there, I'll be okay. If I have this much money, I'll be okay. If I meet that kind of man, I'll be okay. When I can buy this one house, I'll be okay. When I sent my daughter to college, I'll be okay. We're always putting off our lives, putting it over there and over there, and life is taking place over here. There is no risk-free life. There is no certainty over there, because over there you're going to have other challenges and other things. That's the nature of life. Everybody's trying to push uncertainty away or risks away, and it is the nature of life. And by the way, the deal with facing risk is that most of us are called to grow, are called to really become who we're meant to be. We're meant to face risk. And we know this. I know this. When I don't, I start feeling empty. I start feeling hollow. I start feeling bored. As much as you want to control everything and make it all work and have it all be manageable, you really don't. That would bore the heck out of you. And so, as I said, there is no risk-free life. Not taking a risk is a risk, right? Not taking a risk is a risk. And so I guess since there is no risk-free life, I guess you just get to choose which risk you do want to take. And I want you to risk it on something that matters to you. I think if you're going for your real dream or something that means something to you, that's the sure thing. That's the thing that's going to make you feel like, oh yeah, for this I came. That's where there is a guarantee of some sort that you feel alive. And I always tell people, the closer you get, even, taking those steps in the right direction, you're moving in the right direction at least. Even if you don't, quote, get there yet, at least you're moving in the right direction.
I think what you said there as we start off the year, so many great things. This is a perfect book to get. Thriving Through Uncertainty as we begin the year, as we have a fresh start. We all have that. It's exciting. However, what you said about there's always the idea of once we get this or once we get that, it's going to be great. What about just enjoying the moment, savoring the moment, because we're always striving for that. Yeah, we want to be on the direction to go somewhere, to advance and all that. However, wow, we get so lost in what's next and if I had this, when I have that. I think one of the things I'm giving myself this advice talking to you, are inspiring me, is to say, you know what, this year, as we have the early days of 2018, I'm going to start enjoying every minute, every day, and why not?
What if we were arriving right now where we are? Because especially those of us who, want to be successful and we're driven and we want to be more successful and more successful, there's a part of us for whom that never ends, right? That if you listen to your ego, it's always like, oh, just a little bit more money or a little bit more this or a little bit more that. And it's like, you'll miss your whole life because your whole life is right here. And I promise you, if you get right here, even if here isn't where you want to be, even if here is a difficult thing or a difficult challenge, one of the things I teach you in Thriving Through Uncertainty is how to respond to anything in your life in a way that gives you more peace, because I deeply believe that what our real life is our response to our life is our life. It's not so much what's happening. It's not the circumstances. It's our response to our life that really is our life. And I want to teach people how to respond to what's here right now in a way that gives them peace and freedom and joy and connection.
And in this book, Thriving Through Uncertainty, I found this very interesting. I've never seen this in a book before, where you actually tell people, here's a suggestion as to how to read the book. You tell people you don't have to read it from chapter 1 till the end. Go and pick and choose, or you can read it in the traditional way, which is what I'm doing. However, I like how you say, hey, take what you need, work with that, and just read it as you wish, and you'll still find and get value from that. I think that's very unique and great advice.
Thank you. And, and personally, I'm a coach, and one of the things that I know and that this book teaches you is that everybody has their own individual chemistry, their genius, their needs. And I'm not about prescribing anything or, giving rules or guidelines or this is what you have to do. What I'm really trying to do is awaken the natural intelligence in you and the natural instinct in you. You know how to get there. One of the things I deeply know as a coach is that everybody already has that path inside them. They already have the path. They already have what they need. I'm just trying to clear away any fear or negativity or something that's in the way. That's all I'm trying to do.
And the website is Tama Kieves, KIEVES.com. And also on the website, I like the caption. It says Tama Kieves. Of course, it says Harvard lawyer turned visionary career catalyst. And what you said earlier, indeed, you have that ability to be a catalyst for people that read your book, that tune into the website, no matter where they are in the world. So that's very exciting. Some great stuff on your website, Tama. So I'd encourage people, again, to go to tamakieves.com to find all these things. And they'll also find out about all your other books as well.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's my joy, is to really inspire people to be who they're meant to be, because I know that so many people are thinking that their dreams or their instincts or their ideas are frivolous, or that's silly, or that's dumb, or that will make money. And I guess my main thing that I would want somebody to know is that it's not frivolous, it's imperative. The voice that's speaking to you right now, that's nudging you right now, that's telling you what you really want. Or if you're in pain and you don't even know what you want, but you know you need to find out, that's imperative. Because you follow what you love and your destiny, something else opens up. And I want that for everybody.
And as you are an author now doing what you really enjoy and a coach, let's tell people a little bit about the discipline. It's all not fun and games, but what's the, or is it? What's the discipline?
Yeah, it's all fun and games. Yeah, no.
What's the discipline of writing, Tama? Do you write every day at certain hours? I always like to ask authors that because everyone has a different answer.
Everybody does have a different answer, and it's interesting because, and I will answer that question. But one of the things that, I cover in Thriving Through Uncertainty, and I cover in many of my books, is that I am not a big fan of giving people rules, right? You have to do this, and you have to do this, and this is the clear way to do it. Again, because as I said earlier, that everybody has their own intelligence, and especially as we're beginning a new year and people are making resolutions and dreams like, okay, that's it. This year I'm going to run every day, or I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to write, or I'm going to, be kinder to my kid every single day. People set big goals instead of, I would want you to set tinier goals and allow yourself to goof and make mistakes and choose again and choose again and come back. So to answer your question about discipline and writing, that's what I had to learn, because I was insecure in the beginning, and I thought, okay, what do real writers do? I don't know what real writers do, and I read all these writing books, and they were like, you have to write every single day. Or I thought, Hemingway, the famous author, he got up at 6 in the morning, and he wrote at 6 in the morning, so I should write at 6 in the morning. I hate being up at 6 in the morning. I am not a morning person. It was horrible. I wanted to kill bulls like Hemingway. I've had to just make deals with myself. I've never been the person who can do it every day. I'm never the person who can show up at a certain time no matter what in this regard. And part of it, again, keep in mind, I'd left a very disciplined career, right, where I had been billing my time. And so part of me said, I'm never doing that again. I am never going to control myself again. I'm going to listen to myself now. And so, but I am disciplined because this is what I love. This is what I want. And you're absolutely right. It's not all fun and games. But I know that I feel better if I show up. I know that it serves me if I show up. I know that I feel good about myself if I show up. And so that's what motivates me.
And the newest book is Thriving Through Uncertainty. We're talking with Tama Kieves at Tama Kieves, KIEVES.com. Tama, with the last few moments of the show, what else would you like people to know about your books, or how else you can help them? And I know you mentioned earlier that you do retreats for companies, I guess, and individuals and groups. Let's hear about that.
Absolutely. I do retreats all over the country. I speak all over the country. I'm always looking to speak because I love inspiring people. I love igniting them. And I guess the main thing that I would come back to is that I'm really hoping that, first of all, people will join me in this conversation on Facebook and on Twitter and reach out, write to me on email. I love hearing from people. I love knowing your dreams. But I guess the main thing that I would, again, want to leave people with is that no matter what uncertainty you're facing right now, there really is a path inside you. And there really is an instinct inside you. And again, I'll reiterate, that thing that you really think about doing or that you love, It's not frivolous. It's not impractical. It's the thing you're meant to go towards, the thing that's really speaking to you of that's where your true strength is. And if you go there, you are so much stronger than you know. And I want that. I want that for the world. I want people really igniting their gifts and giving it to the world because we all make such a difference.
And Tama, as far as individuals, do you coach individuals as well as groups in
I
speaking?
do indeed. It's one of my greatest joys.
So you can help people anywhere, right?
Yes, I do it on the phone because I can help people anywhere, and it's one of my greatest joys to be on the frontier with somebody when they're in change. And again, my thing is I don't have a prescribed path. For me, it's a relationship and it's a co-creation. And same thing with my retreats, of that there's an energy that happens when we really create that safety. That's all my work is about. That's what Thriving Through Uncertainty is about too, is that it's creating this sense of real safety and acceptance and non-judgment. And if you do that, inspiration just comes right on out.
And Tama, give us a word, as you were joking just a minute or so ago, the importance of humor in life. It is so important. Give us a word on humor and how that's helped you in life.
On humor. Now I'll put this smile on. Now you have to be funny. Say something funny, right? For me, I love playing with people. It's one of my joys. It's one of my connections. And I talk about very, very deep things. Again, let's say in retreats or workshops or if I'm working with a client, we're talking about really deep things and I want them to feel safe to say anything. And so, humor just helps because it's a connection and it's a form of love and it's a form of play together, right? And it's a form of trust. If we laugh together, we're closer. And so I think humor is a huge part of it. My books are funny too, that's what people will tell me, like, oh my God, I laugh so hard just reading this book, because I tell funny stories, and just because I think where it's so helpful is that people have said to me over the years, like, I read your book and I felt like you were me. I felt like you were talking right to me. I felt like you were talking my exact issue. And because I'm very personal and I am funny and I'm real and I tell you my own challenges and struggles and I'm not some expert from on high, I think people relate more, they connect more, they trust more, and then they grow more. Then they grow more, and then they have more courage because they think she's just like me, and she did it, so I can too.
We are talking with Tama Kieves, Harvard lawyer turned visionary career catalyst. I love that. That's why I just like saying it, Tama. Go to tamakieves.com and pick up her book, Thriving Through Uncertainty. Find out about the other books, the coaching. Tama, one last word. What would you like to tell everyone?
There is a genius in you that has never been here before, and I want you to find it.
And 2018 is the perfect time to tune into your website, pick up the book, tamakieves.com. Tama, thank you for being on Successful Living.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your courage in doing this show and providing such an incredible service to so many people. Thank you.
And thank you all for listening. That was Tama Kieves. Go to Tama Kieves, KIEVES.com. You're listening to Successful Living with Bill Knapik. That's me. You can go to my website. That is
RadioBill.net.
And today, Successful Living with Tama Kieves. I'm reading her book right now, Thriving Through Uncertainty. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
RadioBill.net.